Well, moving on now, the number of parents taken to court under the Welsh smacking ban has finally been revealed, with fewer than 5 cases brought in the 3 years since the law came in.
The ban removed the defence of reasonable punishment, and it's been under review, but campaigners say delays have forced them to compile their own report.
Well, the Welsh Government says its official review will be published next week, but we're now joined by the sociologist Dr Ashley Frawley. Ashley, good morning. Thank you so much for joining the programme. Now, campaigners at the time feared that this smacking ban would clog up the courts with unnecessary cases. What's actually happened? What's been the result?
We have to be a bit careful about the claims on the part of the Welsh Government about the actual numbers because, and this is what this recent report reveals, that has had to be compiled by campaigners because they're not actually keeping records. After Freedom of Information requests, it's been found that a lot of councils are not following it. And according to the numbers that are kept, it's actually significantly more parents that are entering the criminal justice pipeline, over 100 every year. And there's been a 112% increase in intrusive assessments by social services triggered solely by smacking. So these are trivial incidents between parents and children. Parents who are using what used to be considered reasonable punishment, that is, smacking for the purposes of discipline, no more than transient reddening of the skin, something that has happened in millions of households, since time immemorial, is now triggering these intrusive assessments, surveillance, appearing on people's enhanced DBS checks, affecting employment, volunteering. So it's very, very serious, and it's trying to be downplayed because the truth is that the promise made by the Welsh Government that this would not criminalise parents has not been kept.
Now, we are looking at a potential ban like this coming into England as well. There are some amendments to a bill going through Parliament at the moment. But we also know, we hear in the news today, that there's been a shocking rise of actual child abuse, child sexual abuse, a lot of it online. How on earth are the authorities supposed to police that kind of abuse when their time is being taken up trying to decide whether or not a parent's smacking a toddler on the bum was reasonable or not?
Well, the thing is that they're not actually even deciding whether or not it was reasonable, because that's what the law previously did. And most parents knew the difference. Most social workers knew the difference. They're actually just saying that's all assault. That's all assault. So that's not even, so there, the investigations now, it triggers immediately an investigation, either social services or criminal. So the finding serious abuse is like finding a needle in a haystack. And what the Welsh Government has done is they've just added thousands more needles, and the numbers of assessments are just going up and up and up and up, which makes it so much more difficult for already stretched caseworkers to figure out who is actually at risk here. And that is what we warned about. And the truth is that these bans are ideological. They're about a form of parenting, a parenting style that those in power don't like. They're very suspicious of parental authority. And it's not evidence-based. I mean, if you look at the strongest evidence, authoritative parenting, which usually uses smacking as a backup method, is well recognized as the most effective form of parenting. But because it makes people very squeamish, particularly those in power who like this trendy kind of positive parenting, they've moved to be extremely heavy-handed in putting forward a ban that they've explicitly said meant to send a message. They have no courage of their convictions. They don't want to send a message by trying to convince people maybe positive parenting is the best way to raise children. No, instead they trigger these heavy-handed, highly surveillance-driven forms of punishment. And even if you're not criminally charged, the process itself is the punishment. And we've seen this in a huge range of sort of cultural crusades where they just drag people through these awful processes that really destroy families, work prospects, and so on, just to send a message.
Ashley Frawley, thank you so much for coming on the programme this morning.